following are two true calls from a 911 call center. Call 1.
My name is Daniel, and I'm a 911 operator in Chicago, Illinois. When I first started this job, I didn't think it would be nearly as stressful as it turned out to be. My first few calls weren't that bad. People's houses' alarms going off while they were out of town, small fires, and minor car accidents, but there is one call I'll never forget. It was a cold night in winter, almost negative 40-degree wind chill. It was a slow night. I got one call about a car that slipped off the road, minor injuries and totaled car. Soon after that, I got another call. 911, what is the nature of your emergency? I asked. As soon as I started listening to the other end, my heart sank. I heard a horrible, guttural screaming coming from the other end in the background. Help, my husband is on fire, a woman on the other end said. Where is this happening? I asked, trying to stay calm. On road, she replied. Okay, ma'am. So what exactly is happening? I asked. She then proceeded to tell me that there was a horrible wreck on the road and that a car lost traction on the ice as they were pulling out of the driveway to go visit their parents. I dispatched paramedics and the fire department as well as police to block off the road. I found out later from one of the first responders that the couple's baby was in the back seat and died on impact. I'll never forget the sounds that the burning man made. They seemed primal and almost animal-like. The people in the other vehicle involved in the crash turned out to have a drunk driver behind the wheel. I took the rest of the night off and decided not to come in the next day. The man didn't survive.
Call 2.
One week there was a dense fog, which made it very hard to see in the area. The news advised people not to leave their homes unless absolutely necessary. The call I received that night went something like this. 911, what is the nature of your emergency? I asked, expecting a car wreck. I think there's someone in my house, a child with a strong accent said. Where do you live? Are your parents home? I asked. My parents are asleep, but I hear someone breathing outside of my room, so I grabbed the phone and hid under my bed, the child said. It sounded like he was only about 7 or 8. What is your address? I asked. He didn't reply right away. I asked the question again and then asked if he was still there. Then I started thinking, what if the intruder had entered the room? So I told the child to press 1 if the man was in his room. Then on my monitor it showed that the kid had pressed 1. I told him to stay as quiet as he could. I heard creaking floorboards and someone muttering something incoherent, and then I heard it. A man's voice started singing Ring Around the Rosie and giggling like a little girl. By this time I was able to track the call and found out where he was living. I sent police and stayed on the line with the child. It would take roughly 20 minutes for the officers to arrive. In that time, the most disturbing thing I've ever heard happened. I heard footsteps from down the hall. It was the parents checking on the kid. I heard from the first responders that the man hid behind the door and waited until the parents came into the room, then closed the door and stabbed everyone, except for the kid. He tried to take the kid out the window and get away. As soon as he saw the police cars, he jumped off the roof while holding the kid, killing both of them. It turned from a home invasion to a quadruple fatality. I think I may quit my job soon.